So in April, you announce a policy that everybody above the age of 18 will be vaccinated when you know that you don't have the vaccines. They don't have a scientific temper at all. And they were too concerned with the election in West Bengal. Their main target was not to deal with COVID-19.
Our COVID ground reports cost us about 7.5 lakh every month. You can help our reporting from the ground. Go to thequint.com, click Support the Quint tab, choose a plan and pay.
Welcome to the Quint. We have a very special guest, Mr. Kapil Sibal, who has managed telecom, IT, science technology, HRD ministries in the previous government, and he's a big lawyer. He has written a very interesting article on vaccine crisis. We want to talk about that, sir. Thank you for your time. Mr. Sibal, my first question to you is about vaccine mismanagement. You seem to be very angry when you say that what is the word? Loquacious people are quiet.
The point is that the loquacious are silent. I'm not angry. I am pained. I'm disturbed. I feel very upset that a nation which is a leader in vaccine production has been left behind. A nation that should have watched out for the dangers that lay ahead because of COVID-19 looked the other way. A nation which went to Davos and said, India is an example of how to handle COVID-19. A few months later, is perceived as a country which does not know how to handle COVID-19. That's what I'm sad about. The fact that there are 900 million people that need the vaccine, and only 3% of the 900 million have received two shots of the vaccine. You can imagine the long way we have to go. And we have no vaccines. So in April, you announce a policy that everybody above the age of 18 will be vaccinated when you know that you don't have the vaccines. And the vaccines that you're talking about, you yourself are saying will arrive by the end of the year. So in between, what will happen? All those people above 18, if they get COVID-19, which they are likely to get because the virus goes around and nowadays it's in the air, who will help them? Who will protect them? They believe in cow urine and cow dung, and they don't have a scientific temper at all. And they were too concerned with the election in West Bengal. Their main target was not to deal with COVID-19. Their main target was to win West Bengal. And they told their ministers, look, you go to each district, you sit there, you organize, you target, you make sure that you win in each district. Where are the ministers now? I mean, this is a much bigger challenge than winning an election in West Bengal. That elections will come and go, but lives, when lost, those people don't come back. What's happened to your ministers? Where are they? Why have you not ordered them to go to each district and make sure that people are protected, or make sure that if they are not vaccinated, set up systems to ensure that they are vaccinated? Even if they are not vaccinated, those who have been affected, help them out. But you didn't have beds in the hospitals, you didn't have oxygen, you didn't have ventilators, you don't have vaccine. You're completely unprepared. And you were in fact encouraging people at Kumbh. You were yourself going to rallies and saying, I have never seen the kind of crowd that I am seeing today, knowing full well that crowd will ultimately be infected by the virus. Why were you doing?
So this government now says that we have liberalized the policy. It is basically a state subject, and now private sector and state governments can procure the vaccine.
How is it a state
whatever
subject?
Is possible.
How is it a state subject? What about the polio vaccination immunization program? Who were taking it forward? The union government. And remember, today under the Essential Commodities Act, drug is an essential commodity. Declare this as an essential commodity. And once you do that under the Essential Commodities Act, the pricing will be controlled by you. They'll have to do it. And which country in the world has allowed state governments to start procuring? They have no procurement policy. It's the Union of India must procure the vaccine, not states. And when states are trying to procure the vaccine, the Moderna, and Pfizer and other companies, John, they say they won't deal with the state governments because they want a sovereign protection. They want the commitment of the Union of India that they'd be paid for it. States have no money. And which state, at what price is the state going to negotiate? I mean, I don't understand. This is, in fact, this is why I call it criminal negligence. Because you know that the states won't be able to deliver. But you don't want to take the blame by taking the responsibility in your own hands. So you're leaving it to the state, so that if the state fails, you will say, I give you the authority and you failed. Why should I be blamed? No, action should follow. Culpability should be targeted. Who is culpable? And that includes the election commission. Why did you allow the kind of rallies that were taking place? Who was allowing it? Why did you allow Kumbh to take place? Who was welcoming on the one hand people in Kumbh, and on the other hand saying maintain social distance? The gentleman who was doing it knew that social distance cannot be maintained. Is that not negligence? It is the lust for power, the lust to win an election, no matter what. Otherwise, they would not have directed every minister to be in West Bengal to ensure that the election is won. I mean, why not the same commitment to fight COVID-19? I am a great admirer of the Prime Minister, a great admirer of the Prime Minister, because when he wants to do something, he does it, except that his policies are all in the wrong direction. Right? Because his aim is to continue to be in power. His aim is not to ensure that people in this country get health care, get education. Except that it's a bit confidence building measure. If the Supreme Court makes an observation, it is then sort of printed in newspapers, in the social media platforms. So people feel that somebody is trying to protect us. And that's very important, because give comfort to people in the time of a national health emergency it's a great thing for people if they get comfort from anywhere, because they know that they have to fend on their own. This Atmanirbhar Bharat has been achieved because people in this country are truly Atmanirbhar. They can't rely on the state because the state is absent. This is not what the Prime Minister wanted, I'm sure. Well, the tangible outcome, there can't be any, for the simple reason you don't have the vaccines. So what tangible outcome can there be? You don't have enough beds. You don't have enough ventilators, right? Some attempts are being made to get oxygen, but if you get the oxygen and you don't have the bed, what's the point of the oxygen? Right? So therefore, courts basically are not institutions for making policy. Court can goad government to do this or that. And that's why courts, in the context of migrants today, migrant labor today, is saying, give them food. They're not now believing what the government is saying. Provide food for them. That the court can do. But whether it reaches those people or not, that's very difficult for the court to determine. I don't agree. Look at the figures today. There are still 4 lakh deaths 4,000 deaths every day. 4,000 every day. Why do you think that it is peaked? I tell you why what is happening. Because you have a partial lockdown or a complete lockdown in some areas, right? Because of that, the virus is not spreading. Not prepared at all. We are not prepared for anything. They were not prepared for the second wave. We're not prepared for the third wave, because for the third wave, we'll need a vaccine for children between the ages of 12 and 18, because once the adult population gets vaccinated, the next target will be the children, because the virus has to find a person to target, right? No vaccine for children. There is a vaccine available, but I don't know what the government of India has done for its procurement. Who can compel this? Nobody can compel this government. This government is, and its priorities are build my central Vista. Its priority is destroy iconic buildings near Rajpath. Its priority is that my residence should be built by 2022, and this must be completed before then. Its priority is that the mandir must be completed before 2024. Its priority is love jihad. Its priority is triple talaq. These are its priorities. It has nothing to do with the agendas of the people.